Look, I think if anything's been proven at this point, is that we can't trust these companies to make anything live action, whether it be video games, anime, or even just movies at this point, which is why I am not looking forward to this Fallout series. Because they tend to butcher everything, leave everything alone. Not everything needs a movie. But here we've got an article from Vanity Fair where they got first looks at the new Fallout series coming out. And it's pretty much everything you expected. Fallout first look. This is how the world ends up with a smiling thumbs up. Oh, I can tell they already don't know what they're talking about. Fallout often looks like the distant past, but it's really the far off future, and actually it's the end of life as we know it. Well, no, it's the start of an entire new way of life. Yeah, it's not off to a good start with this article. In the new series debuting on Amazon Prime's Video on April 12th, all right, yep, I don't have any hope for it. A nuclear war breaks out across Earth in the year 2077. Okay, that seems right. Well, not quite, but I mean, yes. Which is, or was, an era of robots, hover cars, and deep and abiding nostalgia for the America of the 1940s. Everything from the clothes to the entertainment to the vehicles mimic the look of the bygone age, albeit with a sci-fi tilt. Okay, so they're getting that right. The retro-futuristic aesthetic was one of the charms of the mega-selling video game series that inspired the show. Look, you've already messed up so much in this article and it's only been a paragraph. Mass Extinction is just the starting point for Fallout, which was developed for TV by Westworld creator, husband and wife, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. Yeah, Westworld went to shit really fast. It really did. After the incendiary mushroom clouds, the story flashes forward 219 years. How did humanity fare over those blighted for 2 centuries? Lucy, one of the lead characters, because of course you got to put a woman in it and make her gay and lame, played by Yellow Jacket star Ella Purnell, has no clue. She has lived her entire life in a subterranean vault where every need and want has been satisfied while generations and generations await the day when it is safe to surface. That's not what the vaults were for. Like that there's, okay, in the lore, we are told there's one control vault and every other vault is an experiment on people. Like there is no such thing as good vaults. Like some of them literally create a caste system and see how long they can last before they start killing each other. Some of them force people to elect somebody to die. Some of them are made to not function so they fail in a nuclear fallout situation to see what effects that kind of radiation has on people. Like vaults are not good. They're not actually meant to save people. Fallout 4, that vault was designed to test cryogenics on people. It wasn't made to actually work. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. I'm sure you guys can figure out what I'm trying to say with that one. Because I don't want to go too much in lore. I just want to say how little hope I have in this. When a crisis forces Lucy to venture above on a rescue mission, she finds that the planet above remains a hellscape crawling with giant insects, voracious mutant animals, abominations, and human population of sunbaked miscreants who make the manners, morals, and hygiene of the gunslinging Old West look like Downton Abbey. Oh my god. I mean, I know it. I have a feeling what they're trying to say, and I think they just missed the entire point. The games are about the culture of division and haves and have-nots that unfortunately have only gotten more and more accurate in this country and around the world over the last decades. That's the people that are there have literally survived a nuclear holocaust across the fucking planet. These are the survivors who have lived for hundreds of years, and this is the societies they've built to replace what has come before. This isn't haves and have-nots. It's not like, oh, we're the rich, we'll just come up and repopulate everything and make everybody slaves. That's not how that actually worked out. It is literally bands of survivors banding together, forming communities to try and survive the post-apocalyptic world. And sure, there are some survivors that operate on that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all, but this isn't the overarching premise of fucking Fallout. Lucy is nice, but Lucy is naive. In the Fallout universe, the human beings fortunate enough to ride out the apocalypse in underground communities only had the option available to them because they had money. No, these people. No, that's not how that worked at all. Like, there are some vaults where it was literally the poor and the rich mixed together. There's some vaults where it was only fucking children of specific schools because the vault was built under a school, and they killed off the parents and they kill off anybody that gets old because they want to try and, well, just how do I want to phrase this without getting yeeted off YouTube? They're very selectively breeding children to make the most badass children warriors they can, and that's a legit vault experiment. Like, this isn't. They see. This is what I was saying earlier. They don't understand anything about the Fallout universe. Going on. Forcing doe-eyed Lucy out into the sadistic Darwinian remnants of civilization opens the door for Fallout to engage in some social satire as well as action and adventure. Like HBO's hit The Last of Us, which was not a fucking hit. Everybody who actually liked the games hated it. The hell? How much are they paying you, Vanity? Let's, like, literally. How much have you sold your soul out for this? Which was adopted from the blockbuster video game, and the end of the world offers a rich opportunity to comment on the real one. No, oh my god. Fuck these weirdos. Alright, so Nolan says, we get to talk about that in a wonderful speculative fiction way. I think we're all looking at the world and going, God, things seem to be heading in a very, very frightening direction. Yeah, no shit. Alright, so it goes on to comment about Westworld. Fuck Westworld, I don't care about that. Like, this, if they just even loosely stuck to the canon that exists, it would be okay. If they narrowed it down, it would be fine. But this weird ass shit where they're making a political statement about a TV show that's completely different from the politics of today, it could be so good. All right, so it goes on to say, so many of us have naive ideas even now about everyone else's experience, and it's one of the things I love about America. It's this giant manic collection of different experiences, different points of view. No, it's supposed to be a cohesive culture, not everybody's arguing over their fucking viewpoints thinking they're the right viewpoint. Desperation only exacerbates those fissures in Fallout, as Purnell's do-gooders soon discover Lucy is charming, plucky, and strong, and then you see she's confronted with the reality of, hey, maybe the supposedly virtuous things you grew up on with are not necessarily that virtuous. If they're virtuous, they're couched in circumstantial virtuousness. It's a luxury virtue. You have your point of view because you never ran out of food, right? You guys were able to share everything, but it's because you had enough to share. Oh my God. Don't inject realistic moralities and social and political discussions into something that's not based on that. And if he had even bothered to share, he would have known that there are food shortages in this universe. The military is literally deployed to quell uprisings and riots all over the globe. It doesn't matter what country it's in. But no, he doesn't do the fucking bare minimum here. He's just like, oh, I'm going to interject today's political shit. Like, oh, these fucking weirdos. The Fallout series tracks our collision with the hard reality of other people's experiences and what happens to those people. Frankly, we're left behind, left to die. Yeah, well, most of the people in Vaults weren't expected to survive. But again, you didn't do the bare minimum here. Which sucks, because that's the Brotherhood of Steel. That's their power armor. I think it actually looks pretty damn good. Actually, it looks really good. Fallout is leavened by the same twisted sense of humor that made the video game so appealing. The ubiquitous logo of Lucy's people, the Vault Dwellers, is a winking cartoon who perpetually flashes a giant smile and the thumbs up sign. This Vault Boy iconography originated in the games and was intended as an ironic, tone-deaf contrast to the hard Scrabble existence of those who endure the surface. Oh, this is really bothering me. The fact that they're writing about this, the director's speaking about this, and he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And if you don't believe me, just Google all Fallout vaults and you'll get a list of their numbers and the experiments they were running on them. In these vaults, there was one control vault. That's it. Like these vaults weren't actually meant to function. The ones we have in games are rarities. The vaults that we see in the games aren't functioning vaults. They're rarities or oddities because something actually happened and they went to the vaults and they were going to be experimented on. And I think Fallout 3 is kind of a perfect example of that because in that vault, they kind of just said, yeah, screw our test that we're supposed to do on these people and just actually tried to make the vault function. But a lot of vaults didn't. And we have that documented. That's why we can go visit other vaults in the games and see what happened and read what happened in those vaults. And like I'm going through looking at the pictures they have for this Fallout series, and they look fantastic. They look so fucking good. They look like they look like the games. They look better than the games. They look like what we saw in the games, and they're just gonna ruin it with this horrible story. Like that power armor they have there, that Brotherhood of Steel character. I don't know who it is. So I'm gonna get to that in a second. I assume they're talking about it in here. But it looks so good. And it looks like they have, I mean, I guess they have one of the scribes or squires. It's halfway there. I don't, that dude on the right, I don't think it's quite there, but we'll give him some creative license on outfits. I'm not going to nitpick that shit. I'm going over the overall story of Fallout and how this actually doesn't look good. All right, jumping ahead. As the Fallout show progresses, Lucy's journey intersects with two other lead characters who are new to the universe. One of them is wannabe Soldier Maximus, Aaron Moten, the tragic PD from the Night of, who grew up above ground like Lucy, who was also raised in a cloistered family of sorts, a brutal collective of warriors called the Brotherhood of Steel. That's not what they were. I mean, yeah, they were brutal warriors, but they almost worshiped technology, and that's what they went for. I feel like they completely missed that entire premise of what the Brotherhood of Steel is. It's a little bit of the Marine Corps, a little bit of the Knights Templar. It's kind of the weird fusion. In the absence of federal government, you just had all this military hardware laying around. Who would get it, and how would they maintain control of it? The answer is the Brotherhood, which Nolan describes as being fueled by a mutated version of patriotism, religion, loyalty, and fraternity. It sounds like he just read like the notes on it and doesn't understand what they actually are. Because if that's how he's describing it, like it's like he read the cliff notes of it and just like, okay, I completely understand what they are, but he doesn't. Their control comes the battalions of super soldier knights shining in power armor who stalk the landscape, enforcing the Brotherhood's notion of order. Maximus fills the role that's straight out of medieval times. He's a squire. Nolan says this is a drawing of the classic Arthurian knight legends, where life was cheap and you had a squire as long as they were useful. But that's not. That's also not right. Okay, moving on. I'm not giving you guys a history lesson on this one. It's fuck. They had to prove their worth and they had to prove their valor and their strength. And if they didn't, they were kind of cast aside. No, they were put to other jobs because you need all sorts of other things. So, anywho, going on. I don't even want to read the rest of this article. I'm assuming that guy's a ghoul. Kind of fits the part. Like all these look so good. And then I read about what they're doing to the Fallout series, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like that dude legit looks like a ghoul. Like he should exist there. The Fallout uniform, the vault suit looks good. The Brotherhood of Steel looked good. The post-apocalyptic city. You got a wall there. I can see a shop. People just scraping together junk to build the towns, villages, cities, the whole works. It looks so good. And the more I'm reading this article, I'm just like, this is going to be absolute garbage. They don't understand the universe, which is a shame because it looks like somebody actually put effort into all of this. Anyway, I can't read any of this more of this article. It's pissing me off. If you guys are going to watch it, go watch it. But as far as I stand, I'm not going to pay to watch this. I'll review it. I'll critique the ever-living shit out of it, but it doesn't look good. I mean, it looks good, but the story doesn't look good. But that's all for this one, guys. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, be easy like sleazy.